Greetings, dear guests, experts, our speakers, and everyone. We are very happy to greet you here in our section, Vector of Procurement, Step into Digital Cooperation. The International Business Week is a signature event, without saying, which promotes favorable conditions for the development of business, entrepreneurship, strengthening interregional ties and connections, partnership at absolutely various levels. Supporting of small size and mid-size business. It is tightly knit with municipal and state corporate procurement. Gradual and dynamic digital transformation, the use of scalable solutions on the digitalization of procurements are the very effective tools which ensure competition and openness of the procurement process. The Republic actively implements digital tools, aggregators, platforms, the tasks of which is to provide the maximum possible number of services for the businesses and which ensure transparent access to get to know better the representatives of small and mid-scale businesses, to get them know better the procurement process. The State Committee on Competitive Policy, together with the relevant committee of the State Duma on the protection of competition. These are the organizers of this discussion, today's panel, how to implement procurement in digital era. You will hear our respectable speakers today. Let me introduce them. But before I introduce them, let me introduce the moderator of the section, Editor-in-Chief of the Network Edition, Digital Procurement, the member of the Consultation Service on the Perfection of Anti-Corruption Legislation, and in the sphere of municipal and state purposes, Pavel Lisin. You're welcome. Please give a round of applause. And now let me introduce you the speakers. President of the Union of Procurers, Pavel Tikhomirov. Please welcome. Deputy President of Sberbank AST Company, Yulia Abalayeva. Marketing Department of the Electronic Trade Platform called Fabricant, Maxim Kuleshov. Please welcome. President of the Aggregator of Trades of Small-Scale Trades, Oleg Gafarov. Please welcome. The Manager of the Administration of Electronic Portal of Gazprom Bank, Sergei Serdykov. Please welcome. President of Zakupshik.ru electronic company, Oleg Baulin. And we will also have some people online. The Ecosystema company president from Kyrgyz, Aybek Shakitov. And now, let me please, in the very beginning, as an introduction, Pavel, a question to you. So let me give you an application from the Committee on Competitive Committee, an application to enter the Union of Procurers from the government of Bashkortostan. Thank you very much, dear colleagues. I would like to thank the organizers. First of all, I would like to convey the words of congratulations of good work from the president of the oversight, Anton Alexandrovich, who wasn't able to be present here, but he was sending his very warm greetings and congratulations and successful work to all the representatives of business, and the words of gratitude to the organizers for such a positive and very useful forum which is held in the respected land of Bashkortostan. These were the welcome words from Anton Getta, a representative of State Duma of Bashkortostan. We're very happy to be the members of the Professional Procurement Union. I would like to mention that at the end of the event we will give awards. Let this remain as a little secret, and I kindly invite you to participate in an open dialogue. I will actively follow, and I would like it to be, let's make it friendly and in a warm manner. Dear colleagues, thank you, Gulshat, for your introduction. Today we will have a very rich program. We will talk about digitalization of procurement activities. We will make an accent. We will talk about small size procurement. We will see what is offered in the Republic as a tool for this kind of procurement. We will look at the experience of the leading electronic platform, how they implement this activity. And also we will hear our foreign partners. They will join us online. Let's see what's happening in Kyrgyzstan regarding procurement. So we have a very rich program, and also Pavel, in his report, he will touch upon a very important project, an audit of vendors and producers, which is a very far-reaching project. He will mention it in more detail in his presentation. Anton, as a deputy chairman of the Committee of the State Duma on Protection of Competition, he wanted to speak personally, but he had changes in his work schedule, so he sent his greetings, and let me read his official address to the participants of this forum. His welcome words to the organizers and participants of the International Business Week in Bashkortostan. Greetings, dear colleagues, vendors and suppliers, the members of International Business Week. Let me greet you at this important event for the Republic of Bashkortostan. The development of State Order of Russian Federation is the priority area of my team. I can mention with confidence that the current state of contractual system is a result of joint operation of a huge amount of experts and specialists at all the levels and branches of business, state powers. I participate regularly in this kind of activities, and I also mentioned that there is a very high urgency to find a solution in terms of control of state procurements and to come up with universal rules for all the stakeholders. It's an opportunity to share your experience, find common thinkers. The State Duma of Russian Federation will pays much attention and will continue to pay much attention to the state procurement process. We will try to establish the conditions which answers the challenges of the current time. We're approaching 2024, which our country faces very severe challenges, but I'm sure we will overcome them. My apologies for not being able to address you personally because of the changes in my working schedule. I wish you fruitful work, new knowledge, fruitful knowledge, and successive networking. Thank you very much. I would like to thank the Republic of Bashkortostan for the invitation. I'm sure that we will see personally next year, and I would like to invite you to an exhibition in May 2024 in the All-Russian All-Russian Exhibition Center, and we will give this address to the management of the committee, and also a letter from Aslanova Gulshat, a manager, a responsible person for state procurement in Bashkortostan for the support of small business of Bashkortostan. Dear colleagues, let's get down from the introductory part to our agenda today. I would like to give the floor to the president of ATMO, Oleg Gafarov. He will talk about the aggregation of small-size procurements. Oleg, you're welcome. Greetings. Thank you, Pavel, for giving me the floor. Dear partners, first I would like to thank everyone for your active participation in the procurement process in ATMO system. Speaking about the history of our platform, back in 2019, the State Committee on Competitive Policy, supported by the Committee of Competitive Policy, we began working on the pilot version of our platform. Our connection with the government is called as a quasi-type of state and private cooperation. So very shortly, we came up with the electronic trade system called ATMO. At the end of 2019, we worked on the pilot version, and already on 2020, the commercial version of the product was kicked off. Now we have about 4,000 clients and 13 vendors and more than 4,000 clients. The total amount of procurement was equal to 15 billion rubles, and savings of the budget of Bashkortostan were equal to more than 1 billion rubles. Speaking about the advantages and awards, it received an award from the government of Russian Federation as the best regional practice. The software is Russian-based, which is indicated in the register. Also, based on our solution and interactive format with the state bodies, institutions in Kyrgyzstan, they arranged a project about which Mr. Shagitov will speak later in more detail. Speaking about technology basis, it includes module architecture, which allows to quickly adapt the product under changing environment and also to deploy the platform in other regions. Iterative model of development. This is a very well-known agile methods. This kind of approach allows our developers with less challenges to give value to the clients. Instead of issuing the whole product completely, what we do, we work in small revisions, small iterations. Then we test. This allows the developers to quickly react to changes. Number 3 is user control. The support system interacts with the users on a regular basis, receiving feedback to improve the system. We do polls regarding their suggestions of the clients, how we can possibly improve the software. And today we have the following updates. A module which is based on the Federal Law 223. This is a commercial unit. Integration with RIS, which allows to implement the contracts. For example, if you want to make your proposal, you need to be authorized using a digital signature. Also, what we do now, we're testing the information when the client can post feedback regarding whether the contract was successfully or not successfully implemented. This will allow us to quicker compensate the costs of to do payments to the vendors, and also we would like to make a Q&A page. In the latest supports, many clients mentioned that there is no call center for technical support. I would like to mention that in the very beginning we decided not to have a client support center, because what we need identification screenshots about the mistakes. The call center actually doesn't allow to save history of requests, and also it doesn't allow to identify urgency. The technical support, usually the client requests are processed based on urgency. At the same time, the average time of processing of a client is no more than 6 minutes, and it allows us to very quickly receive responses and to do the suggestions. Teaching is very efficient, working with the system. We made a polling, we have interactive manuals, we are permanently updating them and making them more elaborate, and we teach our clients how to use the functionality. Speaking about the evolution and what we see like in the future, in the first place, we are based on the recommendations of the committee on the competitive policy, the legislation also, and also the feedback of our clients. Next year, we are planning to do the following functionality update. We will try to use more channels, anti-damping, and we will rate clients and vendors. Also, we will use the letter of attorney, which will be scanned by the machine. And at the end, I would like to thank Radi Faridov, the head of Bashkortostan, the Prime Minister, Andrei Nazarov, the head of the State Committee on Competitive Policy, Gulshat Arslanova, and all the team of the State Committee of Competitive Policy for permanent support and cooperation. Now I would like to give the floor to my partner, Alexander. Yes, Oleg, thank you. Thank you very much for your presentation. Indeed, the aggregator of small-scale trades, it has been operating in the Republic for several years now, and it proved to be efficient. And as Oleg said, it's very important to have the feedback, to react to feedback and to update your system, add some services, make it more convenient and more advantages. That's why today we have one of the tasks is try to collect from you the feedback regarding the system operation so that the developers could embrace it, could take it into account when preparing new revisions of the system. So should you have any questions or suggestions or initiatives as part of our today's work, please don't forget them. Please voice them, write them down. At the end, we will have a Q&A session, a session for communication. If you are shy voicing it, you may send it to the committee organizers and the conference organizers, because your opinion is very important for the developers, because the service should be client-oriented and the interests of all the participants of the procurement should be taken into account when working on new revisions. I would like to give the floor to Alexey Lobanov, the president of Zakupshik.ru company, Bashkir market as a regional service quality.
Thank you. Let me greet you all today. Briefly, I would like to say a few words about our system. We are partners with Oleg and Atmo company, and as part of this system for businesses, we launched a project of regional marketplace. How was the process? What was the process? In year after the use of Atmo system, the Committee of the Republic of Bashkortostan for Competition Policy received feedback from users to create a comfortable platform in order to cooperate, in order to suppliers to cooperate. That's how we started to looking for the solution for that, and we've decided to launch the project to make a marketplace, regional marketplace. First of all, in order to the suppliers of Atmo to allow them to cooperate productively. B2B marketplace is a new era of sales, and this project is the digital platform that is the place that connects the supplier and the buyer. And this B2B marketplace is focused on the cooperation between businesses, which makes it harder to make it more productive. Here are some features that we wanted to provide. So the first thing is a complex approach that allowed us to make the simple way from start to the very end. The amount of products that are there and CRM systems which allows us to make a better communication between clients. So what is Bash Market today? Simple registration without any difficulties and simplified process for Atmo participants. The process is simpler because there is a database of suppliers inside Atmo system, and the users of Bashmarket can use all the tools of our B2B marketplace simply. So that's the ecosystem approach here. So the second important thing is your own place with your products. The third thing is a personal manager for support and help, which is who is always there. And the last one is the advertising of your products by the Bashmarket company. We also are improving and making it better. So we digitalize processes, which allows us to decrease the costs for client support, and we also improve the efficiency, data and analytics. Marketplace provides data to analyze the buyer's behavior to improve your sales. Bashmarket for clients. There is a large list of suppliers of the Republic of Bashkortostan. It is a quite important aspect, especially for us, because we are trying to support local vendors and suppliers, and there is a convenient tools for that. So we are making a new system to pay by through the electronic platform. And I would also like to talk about some challenges that we're facing. The first thing is the difficulty of integration, because there are many aspects that it's hard to implement some things. The next thing is growing of marketplaces makes it harder. We're trying to compete on the regional level. The next thing is management and cooperation with clients. At the very beginning, it's quite hard to provide such things, but anyway, we are working on it. The next thing is personal data protection, which is of high importance for us. I would also like to speak about technological trends that we are following. Artificial intelligence and machine learning are critical for us to optimize processes and personalize suggestions. And the next thing is blockchain that we are trying to implement. Safety of transactions is impossible to avoid, and the Internet of Things, that's the future story, which helps us to optimize logistics. All in all, I would like to say that B2B platforms are key platforms for productive business. They provide significant tools for businesses, and they provide safety and innovations. We are transforming B2B marketplaces, opening new horizons for development. And let me also thank the government of the Republic of Bashkortostan. And I would like to say my warm words to the government of the Republic of Bashkortostan for competitive policy. It's great that they have such an open position, and they support us in all our initiatives. And a high level of cooperation we have between us. Thank you very much. That's the end of my speech.
Thank you, Alexander. We work with a lot of regions as part of our state procurement. And we would like to mention this infrastructure for the local. I have a question. Who of the session is a procurer, is the supplier, but doesn't yet work with such a system? Actually, it is not a promotion, but maybe it's worth entering the system, because it's not about getting some contract signed, or you can simply advertise your products, because the corporate clients, they are beginning to use this system, that it's a good source of information. And what is most important, that the majority of information is true, it is verified. With the help of these systems, actually the public offer system is used. This is not just some ad in the internet, but these are verified and true offers which have been already tested and which have proven good by the preceding clients. And we also talk about the support of regional suppliers, but we know that based on law 444 and 223, we have a unified, all the clients have equal rights and equal opportunities. So when local authorities and clients, when local authorities are starting to promote them, don't make your procurements not for local suppliers, but for everyone. Not when the client says, I will choose the local instead of non-local, this is unacceptable. But when the client sees that out of the whole variety and majority, I will pick the one which is closest to me, the vendor which is closest to me. In this case, logistics will be done by the local, and again, the local vendor actually has natural advantages without compromising the legislation and the rights and the policy of equal procurement. And actually, this is when our service helps. The experience of Oleg and Alexander, it is now actually successfully used in other states of the Eurasian Economic Union. Kyrgyzstan is among of the pioneers who began to try to make the first steps implementing the given framework, since we have 5, Russia, Belarus, Kyrgyzstan, Armenia, and Belarus, who are members of the Eurasian Union. It still goes hard, but the government's already working on accepting electronic signatures, to make electronic signatures publicly available in cooperations between clients and procurers. Now Kyrgyzstan is looking at us. They don't yet have a legislation in place for some digital tools promoting trade between the governmental institutions and the vendors of the private sector. I think this is very important to convey to the local authorities. And let's give the floor to Aybek Shagitov. He is the president of IRK EK system. He will talk about, his presentation is called A Step to the Future. Aybek, can you hear us? Can you see us? Unfortunately, we can't hear you. Maybe your microphone is muted. Please check your microphone.
Айбек, не слышим вас.
Ibek, still, unfortunately, we cannot hear you.
Айбек, мы вас не слышим.
Please check your microphone.
А вы нас слышите? Кивните.
Can you hear us? Please bow if yes.
Мы вас не слышим.
Still, Ibek, I'm afraid we cannot hear you still. Please check your microphone. Maybe it's muted. Check your connection.
Так, Айбек, тогда у нас
Ibek, in this case, we suggest
попробуют, соответственно.
our technical experts will try to rectify the problem. We will get back to you later. And let's give the floor to Yulia Abaylaeva, the Deputy President of Sberbank AST. She will talk about Sber A, one of the electronic procurement platforms based on Law 44, federal law. And your experience in digitalization is highly valuable. We are very interested in your experience. Thank you very much to the State Committee for this opportunity to speak. And we always have very fruitful communication. We are a federation, as you understand, that at the same time we have regional projects. Gulshat is a uniting force, uniting persons, bringing together clients and vendors, and those federal projects, regional projects, she supports them a lot, and it's very crucial. In the beginning, I would like to say that all of us make wishes, and your wish list, I'm sure it has, you want your children to show academic excellence, to get some new skills and experience, and of course health, having good health. What is good health for business? Given that the state and municipal and federal procurement is a significant part of money which the government gives to business. For business, health is knowledge and understanding of all the innovations, including digital ones. The business should not in no way lag behind from the agenda. They should know what is happening. They should be aware what is going to change. They should have predictive approach, and they should participate in all the marketplaces, follow them, how they develop, what kind of services they provide. And let me give you an example of very unusual situation. We have a procurement off-the-shelf system. I think you know what off-the-shelf means. This is one of the ways which is available in the legislation, in the procedure. It is provided for in laws 44 and 223. In the beginning, the vendors would provide information about themselves. They would fill in the form about the general information about themselves, and they were sure that I'm in the register, the client will see me, they will pick me, and will buy my products. So this served as a guarantee. But the government, it happens, regulation and digital systems, they go in parallel, they enrich each other, and suddenly some innovation, for example, marketplaces give some ideas to the government, to the regulators, and they understood there is 1 hour so that our other vendors, other suppliers could make their offer, so giving room to them. Okay, I see here is the vendor, here is the client, but usually there is 1 hour. Only digital companies can parse data. They have experience of analytics. They understood that they can have a valuable, advantageous contract. Corporate, state, or municipal. That's why I invite all the business community to follow your health. And the list of your wishes for next year, please include knowledge and being aware of all the innovational processes. What is Sberbank AST? We are a daughter company of the great and powerful Sberbank.
изменяемся со временем.
We are changing with time, and now we understand that we are a one window, one point of contact for the business community, where they see a complete cycle of procurement, the full process. I would like to say, I took a note about innovations which the colleagues in the regions are working with, and the warranted payments is a very unusual procedure, which last year, among other things, was developed by us, and we began to implement it this year indirectly through the state order. State procurement, we don't work with all the industries, but we also make technological breakthroughs in indirect areas, procurement, digitalization, and of course finance. That is why all those services, it is something that gives us a chance to increase in multiple times the amount of users who use our systems. What is Sberbank AST? Where are those points of contact between users with our products? Of course, these are offices.
Не можем отказаться от колл.
We still have a call center because the people are willing to speak.
У нас, кроме московского,
So except for our Moscow office, we have an office in St. Petersburg. Please, you're welcome to visit. I'm visiting it myself on a regular basis as it is in my scope of responsibility. We have our regional representatives, regional chains. We receive high quality support, public organization. They are also participating in competitions.
рост, в который
I represent ROST, growth organization, which has significant success. Bashkortostan has significant success here. We will mention this during our meetings in Moscow, and please follow us on the news. We have our own electronic academy, and all this combination is our ecosystem. I would like to mention the following situation,
те
that
самые неконкурентные
non-competitive ways,
таких
and we have a lot of those procedures, with the help of digitalization, they are becoming competitive. The services which are lacking competitive edge, they are becoming more competitive. Sberbank has a system of notifications, and Sberbank AST, we have our system with commercial services.
это то, что подталкивает
This is
нас идти к
industrial services. It is something that pushes out to go to the clients.
и в
We promote our services, and this digital procurement has become available through Law 44 and Law 223. Why I'm paying attention to this aspect?
что
Because a combination
дают
of this procedure gives a chance to the client to receive, to find
на электронной
suppliers, not those who are with the electronic platform, but also in those aggregation platforms who are integrated with the platform, and which gives an opportunity to businessmen give their offers. I will not agree that this is an offer, public offer. Well, it's important that
именно 200
please don't forget about Law 223, which gives us an opportunity to facilitate this procedure. However, Law 44,
публичная оферта.
it regards this process as a public offer, and this will not allow us such kind of a flexible integration. But where possible, and these are procedures which are outside the laws 44, 223, which are not covered by those laws. These are the marketplaces which are available for us, and I would like to invite you to sign up in our online store.
В смысле, мы
In a certain way, in a certain sense,
аналитический портал
our digital services and analytical portal we provided to other bodies so that they could look what Republic of Bashkortostan is, what makes it stand out from the list of the regions. We provide analytics. We receive the analytical data from the region itself. We see a lot of segments where businesses and entrepreneurs, private companies can participate with the challenges,
что, конечно,
with the tasks which the government impose on the regions. Bashkortostan should look for the niches, for its own niches, in some of the procedures that are not streamlined yet. Look at the neighboring regions, which has a demand for the products which could be purchased from Bashkortostan, from its vendors and producers. This is a very important statistics which we keep, and it's kind of a information and discussion panel which our users make use of. This potential is there. You can look, you can compare
и так далее.
yourself with the rest of the colleagues. We're always available.
Общался,
Well, of course, I'm here, I'm talking to you, but once I leave, I'm still online, I'm still available. Please sign up for our Telegram channels.
электронные,
We have an electronic book which is written especially for Bashkortostan, and I'm hoping that ATMO will be one of the diamonds of our digital support of our suppliers. Thank you very much for giving me the floor here.
Спасибо за
Yulia, thank you very much for your presentation. Very important is interaction between the regional vendors and producers of Bashkortostan. They can absolutely vacantly cooperate. They should look at the neighboring regions because there are the niches of where they can sell. Well, let's continue about federal electronic platforms. I would like to give the floor to Maxim Kulishov, Marketing Director of Fabrikant Electronic Platform. He will talk about digital solutions proposed by Fabrikant Electronic Platform. Maxim, you have the floor.
Всем добрый день. Рад приветствовать
Good afternoon, dear colleagues. I'm happy to be here today.
вот подряд на таком
I'm happy to be here for the second time,
о
and I would like to
преимуществах и
talk about the
развитии.
advantages and the vector of development that we spoke last year. And we talked about what niches do we have for business, the procurements, and here you can see the situation concerning the procurements and different fields. And of course, I agree with my colleagues that this is just one of the regions that can develop their own business. And of course, we have neighboring regions, and they also have the demand for certain services and products. Of course,
переживать.
we have been and we are and we will facing a digital transformation, and we saw it as part of the Federal Law 44. So we have the structure,
Это только в рамках
and I think that as part of both federal laws, we face some changes, and these changes also also are about electronic
приватизации
sales and
в связи с
different
изменениями
aspects of that. So
часто я опять-таки
since these changes are happening quite often, I would agree with my colleagues that business should be attentive all the time and react and rearrange their business. And of course, exclude those aspects that can lead to the incorrect forming of your application. So what we've started doing last year, the unified platform for business, which is stands on 4 aspects. The first thing is analytical unit. The second block is the second thing is financial instruments. In procurements, we have requirements for the winners who sign the contract, so that they must protect and guarantee their own
сторонний должна быть всесторонний
duties and what
бизнеса,
they do. So this also
набор инструментов
the fundamental
в сферу
tools that will allow you to enter this field. So what is analytical unit?
истории.
Firstly, it's quite popular nowadays. It's the platform that is based on your
Так скажем,
previous
в закупках
participation in procurement, in your interests, and
конечно же,
of course,
интеллекта
we use artificial intelligence to form the level of competition
Башкирии в рамках
as
соседних регионов.
of different regions, and you can also see the price forming that will allow you to form your understanding how much money can you save, or the level of competition.
Реализовано
And actually, it was implemented last year. And what are we going to add next year? Analysis of business niches that will allow to rearrange business or
дополнительное направление по
maybe open a new field to develop your business.
индикаторами.
So this will show the season of procurement or potential participants of procurements, and of course that my colleagues already said today, that we will be able together to make it better together is a search of
сборные услуги. И иногда это
co-partners, and
сумма контракта,
sometimes it's a huge amount of money in the contract that is quite hard to
подгружаться
provide
опытные
by just one person, by just one supplier. So, and this thing will help us to
или без нарушений.
look at the previous orders and procurements, and we will see different suggestions from different marketplaces. And I think that here we can cooperate with Atmo,
B2B
so that B2B section would allow
исполнитель
suppliers to find co-suppliers. The next unit is financial tools, which is implemented completely and fully. Regarding the economic situation, we also change partners.
банки
These are usually banks that
банальных инструментов
provide
счет до достаточно.
fundamental instruments and also
Поэтому
difficult instruments such as leasing and factoring.
хотим
We have the following task here. To make a one-window
для бизнеса
service that will help us to fight for business, that will give us some limits, and that businesses will see that they can go for
что
the certain amount of procurements, and they will see their own limits. The next unit is methodological.
фактически наша задача
So our goal is to create digital tender
умещаться у всех в
department that will
что с использованием
be in the application.
подписи
We hope that with the help of electronic signature we can
как минимум руководить
achieve such a goal, and the heads of businesses will be able to look at their processes and make some goals, and to the suppliers or to the employees, and
или в эксперт
we will have the support, of course, in order to make the application correctly, or concerning the changes in the federal law or
конечно же
in court practice. And
продуктом
the
возможность
final product will be to
скажем купить
have
тендерный отдел или взять
to buy the tender department in order to find correct
представитель
procurements for businesses. So in the end, the client should have the contract. So, and the last thing are fundamental that each representative of business should have. Electronic signature is one of them. The next is to set up your working space, because different platforms work differently, and there are some updates.
секциях
Some platforms
такие как Росатом,
have, for example, Rosatom require another sign up,
понимать
and in order for business to understand and to see their limits and challenges and different platforms, there should be experts that will support the business.
на этом все.
Dear colleagues, that's the end of my speech, and I hope that next year we will implement all the decisions and we will be a reliable partner for you.
Максим Евгеньевич,
Maxim, thank you very much.
очень активно.
We see that the platforms are developing and providing new opportunities, and that outsourcing the process of procurement is an interesting thing, and it's interesting to observe it.
Попробуем Кыргызстан.
So let's try to connect Kyrgyzstan again. Dear colleagues, please try again.
Готово.
Everything should be ready right now.
Слышите нас?
Can you hear us, Aybek? I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yes, we can hear you, but
Да.
it should be a little bit louder.
Спасибо.
Okay, thank you for inviting me here. I would like to introduce myself. My name is
Я являюсь руководителем
Aybek Shakitov. I am now the director of AK system, which is an electronic system which we
разработали.
developed together with our Bashkortostan partners. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me
В этот замечательный форум.
here to this forum. I wish all the participants and the Republic of Bashkortostan the development and
Плод сотрудничества Кыргызстанского
the first thing that we are talking about is our cooperation with Atmo,
Республики Башкортостан.
developers who created this platform, who already spoke today.
Уверен, что
And I'm sure that
для проведения,
many people know this platform.
так скажем, хороших примеров
And one of the great example is also
в регионе.
this. It is the symbol of the
И, соответственно,
electronic systems.
если вдруг
So when we have this opportunity before 2023, we didn't have any idea what was the procurements for businesses
и на
and for state.
и
So when in 2023, these two aspects became different, and we needed the system. We needed to develop the new platform for procurements.
доля государства. Вот. И в прошлом году от
Last year, as I said before,
закона
the federal law 223,
223.
и вот учитывая, да, 223,
yes, 223 federal law,
а,
and
Казахстан и Кыргызстан,
concerning that, Bashkortostan and Kurdistan have
так скажем, язык,
cultural connections and
то мы были
the connection of languages, and we didn't think a lot about it. So
это то,
I've always wanted this experience for businesses also, not only for state companies.
как раз вот
So when we had the responsibility and contacted Atmo company, and thanks to our government, there was the
пилотный проект по внедрению системы
the project of implementation for state companies and public companies.
понимания, культура проведения.
We understand that we have different approaches to procurements. That's why we had to develop it, to localize it, so to say, for our own
Легко, комфортно, я
buyers and suppliers. So it was quite comfortable because this system is flexible.
по итогам вот пилота я
And the pilot project showed
результаты.
that
В целом было проведено закупок
we had more than 2 billion sum procurements, and it's about 2 billion rubles.
погрешность имеется. Несостоявшимися были признаны меньше 10%.
So we had less than 10% of procurements that were unsuccessful, and concerning that, it was just the very beginning, and there wasn't a lot of information about our platform, and we had to
Поставщиков, в том числе
we had to gather a lot of suppliers there
инженерное общество,
and many companies abroad.
функциональных нужд вне Кыргызстана. И госкомпании
So in state companies often buy products from Russian Federation and Kazakhstan.
компанию
And we
бизнес нас
launched the company, and business welcomed us.
подписи. Оно
And we also implemented electronic signature. It was used everywhere before, but
скажем,
there in this platform,
где-то бумажные
it was the first thing. It
присутствуют.
happened
И
for the first time.
у нас есть указ президента
And we have the
экономить бумагу
law
закупок
from the president
для бумаги
in order to
вырубают деревья. Поэтому
save the trees. We should make documents electronic, and
указ президента,
we were able to achieve many goals at once.
то есть полностью
So we made electronic system and electronic document flow, not only between state organizations, but also between businesses, private businesses. So inside the state sector,
служащих
for ministers and
электронного документооборота, но как такового
organizations, we had electronic flow, but for businesses, for private businesses, it was a new thing, and we implemented it. And many representatives are happy about it because it economizes time, because you don't have to print things, and business is happy about it.
еще одним плюсом
One more thing, one more
это
advantage is development of analytic unit that allows us
за закупками.
to follow the procurements, to look at the process of procurements.
Единым порталом.
So our unified
Портал тоже следует, так скажем,
portal that we had, that was developed long time ago, and
важный момент, как все это происходит. Портал имел свойство
this portal
подводить.
didn't work properly when it was really important.
Могу ответственно отметить,
One more thing that I would like to highlight is that we didn't have any accidents or errors concerning the work of our platform, the technical aspect, and I'm happy about it, that
доставить и применить.
we are moving forward and developing, that we can provide such platform for procurements. So as I said before, we have the analytical unit that can help us to
Как закупают.
look at procurements
В планах внедрения
online.
красных флагов,
And
когда закупки,
when we implement
скажем,
these
предложения,
red flags, when procurements can have some violations,
их время
so it economizes time when we see it through this unit.
в целом я могу сказать, что
So all in all, I can say that
очень хорошая система.
the system is great, and there are a lot of advantages,
Опыта АТМО у нас в Кыргызстане
and we implement the ATMO experience, and we are happy about it. So private companies are happy about it the most. State companies are also quite happy in their procurements became more transparent, and we minimize corruption by this, and that's just one step of digitalization of our country, and I think that
сделали рывок в будущее.
that's a huge step towards the future.
Это
In my opinion,
взять как один из
It's one of the greatest examples of international cooperation. When we cooperate, when we exchange with experiences and approach so that our partners
сказать, метод
will have this opportunity to use this prepared experience, to use this experience to make your own projects and giving help to the society and the companies.
я мог бы
Despite that, I would also like to highlight just one more thing.
ЭЦП,
We know that there is an electronic
ЭЦП
document flow and
отсутствует у
electronic signatures, so there aren't
между
the acceptance of electronic signatures between countries, between Russia and Kyrgyzstan, between Armenia, Kazakhstan, and it slows down business. And I would be really happy
каких-то
if we had some discussions
соглашений.
on this level of agreements.
Это занято.
As we mentioned before, that with Belarus it took quite a time, and we wouldn't want to step down. We want to improve our business and sign contracts without papers,
Интеграция
and
между странами.
it integrates countries and makes our cooperation better. And that's what I wanted to highlight. And all in all, I would like to wish you,
Башкортостан.
I wish Bashkortostan on my own language
Шақырғаныңыздарға чоң
all the best.
благодарю за
Thank you for your time. Thank you for having me.
Спасибо, Айбек Сагынбек.
Thank you, Aybek.
Всегда очень интересно.
Indeed, it is really interesting to listen to our neighbors and friends and colleagues from abroad, and I'm sure that we will gather all this experience and provide the analytical material and on our platform so that we can look at it clearly and see this how it works. Thank you.
Продолжаем.
We are going further and improving. So I would like to give the floor to Mr.
Электронный торговый
Sergey Vladimirovich, head of Gazprom Bank.
Расскажите.
You're welcome. Please tell us about your digital services for business.
Спасибо большое, Павел Владимирович. Спасибо большое.
Thank you so much, Pavel. Thank you so much, the committee
Интерес.
and the interpreters, with your live interest on digitalization tools and the tendencies which are happening in the industry. I will probably not speak about the services, and I assure you that all of them are more or less the same. Everything that we use, usually you pick by design and then functionality, etc., which are very much similar. I would like to speak about the further development of digital markets and consolidated approach, both at the level of regions and the whole country. How to enter those markets. If we look at demand from the point of view of public demand and close to public demand,
Деньги, потому что у нас государство.
as part of Federal Law 44, it's quite a huge lot of money, and the share is increasing up to 82%
Соответственно,
in the future. And the digital demand which we are generating at part of Law
федеральному закону
44223,
только объем
actually,
части ИИС, если
what you see, you can see only open ones.
по году.
That would be about 30 billion rubles annually.
Такая вещь.
Commercial
не,
private demand is a specific thing because they are followed by their own regulations, and it's hard to enter this market. But if we look at the small size, some typical services and products, those traditional ones which goes through e-stores, e-markets, and also we do that through direct contracts. This means about 1 law regarding Law 44 and 223.
заказчиков.
And in terms of commercial, that's about 5 billion rubles. to say nothing about the tendencies which we already see and implement as part of legislation. And regarding Law 44,
Инвестиционного пакета, который
and as which we call off-the-shelf purchases, which was initiated by the maximum threshold, we have worth of 5 million.
объем
It's a huge amount,
по-простому.
which go through a very simple scenario. The vendors may participate through a catalog of works and services, which is registered in the unified system. They can do their quotes, they can quickly sign contracts, because the priority is quick and high quality procurement. The market is quite turbulent, given the fact that many foreign suppliers and vendors left the market. Some of the industries were dependent on the market, up to 95%. That includes electronics and medication, machine building, car building, light chemistry. These are the niches which are becoming vacant because foreign manufacturers leave. And also, speaking about parallel import, I think this is the area which gives a lot of advantages to private providers to the government,
Опять-таки принцип
given the fact that we have import substitution actively supported by the government. Those manufacturers who provide domestic products, they may enjoy very high priority. We have national regime, we have law
который
4.4, we have law 223, and there is a demand to purchase the goods which are disappearing from the market. From the point of view of regulator,
произведен
actually we call domestic good not the goods which are 100% made in Russia. For example, some of the components may be domestic made, some of them may be imported. Well, this may sound as an irony, but I think it's a very good opportunity for domestic vendors who can declare that the products have been manufactured
за предел
in Russia, regardless of the fact that some of the components were imported. And we have mentioned the perspective of entering the trade portal in the
недавнее
countries of the Asia
Лавров посчитал, что
Economic Union.
15
Mr. Lavrov said regarding point 12,
на закупке с полки
Law 44 off the shelf, why can't we use it in the Eurasian Economic Union? Yes, there are some problems with not everyone uses electronic signature. There are some mismatches, misalignment in the legislation. But I think that we're on the right track because we should unite. We should unite with our allies, not as part of Eurasian Union, but also BRICS, who also would like to have a unified economic environment, an ecosystem with Russia.
C.Vector.
I think this is a good area of development which will be supported by many stakeholders, and electronic stores, services, some plain services, simple services of common goods. I think they will be demanded also outside the Russian Union.
Простой способ.
I think electronic sales is a very easy way to enter the market. I would like to mention that in our country we have about 3 million companies who could participate in the procurements under the law 44. How do you think how many organizations actively participate in under laws 44, 223? You can give percentage. So how many of those registered? You say 50. Well, it's quite optimistic. Law 44 means 10% out of those which are mentioned, and law 223, 17%.
Участие в закупках
This is not a result of monopoly, but those laws which I've mentioned that require special certification and qualification. If we look at the procurement, you need to have 2 higher educations. Well, I'm joking, but that is really so. The entry requirements are quite strict. Not everyone can follow them. You should have financial base. You should have some assets available. You should post a deposit. And actually, it's very hard for private companies, small and mid-scale ones.
и выходить до
But I think it's a kind of a lever. It's a kind of a shoulder that
закупки.
is used to support and which helps you to enter the corporate and public procurement process.
4.2.2.3 коммерческий сегмент, универсальные правила проведения. Цена договора не такая высокая.
The advantages are that the rules of are
Закупок вообще без цены.
there are equal opportunities for everyone.
В 44-м
The quite a high amount of purchases is
процентов без требования к цене.
60%. You don't need electronic signatures. The average, in terms of average price of the contract, there are some regional requirements, but any vendor may enter this market, may state the services and products which he or she is selling, and we, as the operator of the trade portal, electronic portal, we understand that this is
Единую витрину 44
we
сегмента.
we
Формируем методику.
make a single, what we call a shop window, and trying to adapt the offers of the suppliers to the demand.
Поставщиков в закупках малого объема
78% of the
уменьшается.
they don't participate in the procurement. They our clients go from electronic stores to electronic trade platforms. We have mentioned some challenges regarding companies and entrepreneurs. We mentioned advantages. Let's talk about advantages. Except for a unified shop window of consolidated demand, we have a catalog. The catalog may not belong to us, but our partners may also introduce their catalogs. So we may think about cooperation with our ATMO. We are not for fierce competition, but we would like to combine all the best practices. If we talk about catalogs, we can provide our own products or from our sub-vendors, but we can also provide external
Возможность
catalogs. We give the opportunity to find a single point of entry. If we look wider at the perspective of using electronic portals and catalogs,
формирования
and
поставщиков-производителей.
the practice of guaranteed supplies has proven good. You can see experience of Novosibirsk. We selected, we shortlisted the vendors who are
Производство для
reliant, who are reliable, and all of our clients, based on such services, they understand that
совестность готов поставлять
this vendor has
непосредственно
proven that
времен.
they can provide their products off the shelf from the warehouse without any delays, without any additional time for procurement. And so the perspectives of development of our trade portal is that we should have a shop window of consolidated demand, a single point of contact based on law 44.223. We are talking to our partners at a given stage. We have Yandex, B2B, Leroy, Petrovich, Hamas, and all those external outsource catalogs which we can implement.
Мы тоже можем
We can include your catalogs into our system. We have special procedure to work with external marketplaces and also to normalize your product items. We're open for cooperation. We can open to interact on the basis of single point of window. We do targeted shepherding and consulting. We provide training. We work under the methods of growing our own vendors. What you need to do, you need to provide your catalogs, and in this case,
те региональные рынки.
those regional markets which are available today, they turn to the regional markets which we want to see tomorrow with the additional services, global planning, quoting, introducing quotas, logistics services, everything which are additional modules which are highly demanded for effective procurement. And the perspective on the typical services, working with businesses, entrepreneurs, in digital, in marketplaces, pay attention, and we will be eager to working with you. Thank you so much. I will answer any of your questions, should there be any. Thank you so much.
Владимирович, спасибо,
Sergey, thank you. By the way,
что площадка
colleagues,
вполне
part of what the platforms offer, we may use it to come up with a resolution as a follow-up to our section today. Some most interesting things you can come up with the proposals for our today's resolution.
скажу про
Let me briefly tell you about digitalization of small size, digitalization of small scale purchases. I will talk about legislation
ушли
and perspectives. I want to make sure we are on a common grounds in terms of small size purchases and procurements.
Верните кликер.
Sergey, can you please give me the clicker?
Мы с вами сегодня
So today we've heard
говорилось
Yulia, Sergey talked about this, and also other speakers about small size purchases, off the shelf. Well, these are some of the terms of simplified procedures from a sole vendor, contractor, and executor. In this sense, we talk a lot about this during our exhibition forum, which is all Russian, which is called Goszakaz, meaning public procurement. So our stand is available at the All Russian Exhibition Center in Moscow, which opened recently, as you know. We have our partners there who prepare agenda, program, and resolution. Should you have any kind of suggestions, please provide them to our committee. They will accumulate and they provide it to us. So here is the law. This is the title page of the law. As you can see, I think by Christmas we are going to have about 100 amendments to this law. And regarding the initial edition of the law, I keep saying, no matter who you are, client, procurer, you should have the current edition of Law 44 available on the table, same as other laws. This is non-trivial. This is mandatory, because official revisions of the laws, there is no law, there is no code. Once amended, the president does not sign. He signs amendments, modifications, and as part of Law 44, we have Law 46, which is permanently updated. We are going to see the new revision very soon. Probably there will be some liberated norms not to establish deposit or guarantees of your contract. Well, we'll see what happens. While we're doing something, we will see some changes in the first hearing. This bill will be passed. It's normal practice. What I mean to say is that please keep yourself updated that you are using a current law, a valid law. It might seem simple, but it's not. These are the relations what actually the law covers. First of all, effectiveness and performance of the procurements. Actually, the laws doesn't provide for savings of the budget. What the law says, you should be efficient and you should demonstrate high performance. What are the criteria of efficiency? They are not still available. Nobody can say what is meant by efficient purchase. For example, auditors. The cheaper you buy, this means that you save the money of the budget. Others say no. Let's see how much money you will spend if you buy some bad quality. Along the perspective, along the landscape of 5 years, you may save initially buying some cheap product, but then you may spend a lot of time fixing the faulty good, for example, so you have to be careful. These are the ways of identifying procurers. Number one is a competitive approach, identifying the vendors, assessing them. And number two is purchasing from a single procurer, which means not higher than 5 million. This table, very simple representation, comparison between small scale and off versus off the shelf. These are jargon, these are just slang words. You are not going to see small size procurers is under item 4. Paragraph 93, not higher than 600,000 rubles. Does anyone know why this item is capped to 600 rubles, 1,000 rubles? Nobody has the answer because there is no answer. If the law provides, this means you should follow. There is an opinion that there was a very simple form. Initially, it was 60,000. Those of you who remember, it was about 10 years ago. We started by 60,000, then we multiplied by 10. Now we have 600,000. Justification, well, this is a joke, of course. But This is the number all of us remember, but it's mentioned in item 4 and item 5 of clause number 3 of the federal law. According, there is a certain amount for culture, education, physical culture, education. Actually, the limit is higher. They're mentioned in the law. Under 600,000, you can do it both electronically and on a paper. And above that amount, it's only electronic. You can use 8 electronic platforms, the one which you implemented, an electronic store under 5 million rubles. This is important, so you can use both of the opportunities. If we make this simple scheme, between 0 to 600, this means small scale. From 0 to 5 million, these are off the shelf, and they do not interact. So a client may pick between 0 and 1,600,000, and this is specified as small size, and between 0 and 5 million, these are the off-the-shelf. I'm just trying to explain the terms so for us to be on the common ground. So I'm sure that as a follow-up to this forum, as a result of this forum, the number of subscribers in your Telegram channel will include. Please also use our Telegram channel. This is an online resource. You will see 2 polls, opinion polls, and there are no reposts. It has only our exclusive proprietary materials. Please go ahead and participate in the polls. One of them is related to optimization of legislation. We have a number of suggestions. You can give your feedback whether it's important or not. And opinion poll number 2, which was implemented recently. These are closed, restricted procurements under law 223, the products which are sanctioned, and whether it is worthwhile making it more restricted, more confidential, compared to the status to what is happening now. As part of the preparation to Goszakaz exhibition, which means public procurements, we will love to implement pilot projects before we go to the actual commercial version. We as a public force, as the community team, before proposing a law, before proposing a draft, we would like to do a pilot version, for example, in some of the regions. For example, our colleague from Kyrgyzia mentioned that first they implemented a pilot project, and then they actually went to implementing commercial and full-scale procedure. I would like to give the floor to our last speaker today, Pavel Tikhomirov, the president of the Union of Procurers of Russia. The subject is their projects, the project of the Union, how to audit the data of the vendors and how to analyze the market using digital technologies. Yes, you have the floor.
We have only 5 minutes. I would like to talk a little bit more. Those who need to go, there is no problem. You're free to go, but I will take a little bit more of your time. Firstly, I would like to thank Gulshat for this application. So now you are the part of procurement. But we are not in this process right now. But thank you for your trust to our association. So this association appeared not that long ago, and it uses the experience of and the historical data of this previous association. But it's a new association, and now both private and legal entities can participate in procurements. And I would like to say to Yulia that we are not competitors. We marketplaces compete between each other because they have the same direction, but we have different types of activities, and we don't have to compete, and our directions of activities are not the same with yours. And let's just cooperate, and I invite ROST organization to cooperate and to act together because we unite the professional community. And I would like to say that the slogan and the main words of this meeting is, I, dear colleagues, will speak only about the day after tomorrow because we formed today. So we have all the plans for the day after tomorrow. So we have 24 legal entities and 33 private entities. We are developing, so here are some projects of the union that I will speak of. So the first is the codes of law of procurements. We are planning to work on the clauses and subclauses on procurements. So there is such a direction, and we are going to improve it. And we are going to develop those subclauses of procurement laws. The next thing is analysis of the market concerning different types of certain types of products. Let me tell you a little bit more about it. So we have not only the services of market analysis of suppliers, but also I showed on the slide those aspects that could be developed in addition to the services that we already have. So first thing is the analysis of suppliers market, and many clients can analyze it right now, but we can also improve this to look at electronic signatures and etc. So, and there are some more services that we can have. So one of them is the platform for data exchange on audit of suppliers exchange. So it's not a secret that what we see in the application is not always complies with reality, with the supplier and with the product that they're going to supply. And I hope each representative of business here is better than that, and that they say the truth. But often the application is completely different from the reality. And I've faced it many times, and many institutions and companies are facing it, and the result is the breaking, violations of contracts, and no one needs it. Business doesn't need it, and supplier and customers doesn't need it. Those who work under the law 223 save the data about the suppliers in their own system. And when they checked the supplier, when they looked at the platforms where they're working, the site, so that they already know that this supplier is reliable, and they keep it in their own system, and no one exchanges this data. And that's what I call the day after tomorrow, the system that would allow us to exchange the suppliers, the reliable suppliers. So here on the slide, you can see the result of these violations and those who haven't checked the supplier. And that's what it leads to ecological disasters that we try to eliminate. So that's why we need the platform that would gather data. So now we have the platform that gathers data, but it's not enough because we need more data about the suppliers. So resources, technical audit, sub-vendors and projects, previous projects. It's very important to collect such data because some suppliers participate and they win, but the supplier has too many tasks and they won't be able to provide the services. So that's why we started implementing this project. Last week, on the 17th of November, we had the first session on this project, and this project was supported by Rosatom, Roscosmos, Rostechnologies, Rosgeology, Rostelecom, United Aviaconstruction Corporation, and large corporations understand that this will help them to save money, and this will lower the risks. That's the day after tomorrow. Of course, we are at the very beginning of it, but speaking about the analysis of the market, we want to help customers to analyze the markets that we don't have the understanding of. They don't have the competition list. We understand that we have we are facing some challenges, and now we don't have this understanding of the markets to see the figures and to understand it. And that's why we would like to help. We want to collect data, to analyze markets, and invite suppliers to meetings where they will talk about their products that the customers will be interested in. So, dear colleagues, some positive aspects that it will lead to. And now I would like to stop on something different. I would like to talk about an interesting idea to rearrange the approach to procurements on the price. Tomorrow I will participate in the procurements meeting, and the idea that is discussed right now in this community, I would like to share it with you. But before that, I would like to ask you something. So when there is the procurement started, and you as a business should decide, should you participate or not? What option is the most popular by your company? So the first, you want to get money, to earn money. The second thing, the possibility of winning in this procurement procedure. And the third, someone asked you, your friend, your competitor, or someone else, someone asked you, raise your hands who votes for money. Most of you, okay. So the possibility of winning, 1, 2, 3, and someone, and when you are asked to participate. Okay, so your greatest motivation, it's very good, I will use it tomorrow. So your greatest motivation is to earn money. And what does the customer do? They want to they want to challenge you so that they want to save money. What the customer do? What does the customer do? They usually calculate the price, and then they are trying to give you this price so that you will lower your price and win as the result of your bidding. And throughout all the world, even in the Convention of Anti-Corruption, the main thing is that bidding should be based on the price. But let's look at it on the other side. So the conference in Sochi of anti-monopoly service was in Sochi, and there was a poll there. So what is the most important thing for the customer? Price, quality, or the terms? So the most important thing was the quality for many people. And many people, many participants said that now we can calculate the figures in the beginning. So they always go for this price, and we found a great way to calculate the price so that we could conclude to sign the contract upon the initial price. So that's why, dear colleagues, new approach. We should stop this. We should stop it, and we should start making biddings according to the initial price, according to the price. So the one who started, the one who agreed on that price, should go and take this project. So that's the idea, and I would like to express it to you, and the expert community talks about it. So you don't expect that there will be changes in law already, but maybe someone will find disadvantages, but it will happen the day after tomorrow. Thank you, dear colleagues. So we've looked at all the aspects, and we talked about best practices, and it was a great cooperation today. It was a fruitful work. And after the business part, we are going to the best part of it. So we are going to give awards. So
Передаю слово, пожалуйста, пока не расходитесь.
Let me give the floor to my colleagues. Please don't leave, because we are going to give awards. Let's start the awards ceremony. Nomination Active Supplier 2023 as per the information system of ATMO, Electronic Digital System. And unfortunately, the speaker doesn't hold the microphone. Oh, sorry. Nomination Active Vendor As per ATMO system, place number 1, Lotus Company. Place number 3.
Где Лотос?
Any representatives of Lotus Company? Okay, we will transfer this. You have a certificate for a certain amount of money and an award letter. Place number 2, Ufanet Company. You're getting the award, 20,000 ruble certificate. And number 3, Public Organization Bashkortostan Pharmaceutical Company. Here is your award. Congratulations. Nomination effective vendor in ATMO. Place number 1, private entrepreneur, small company, Mavnali Yusupov. You have an award. Let's have a picture together. Place 2,
Индивидуальный предприниматель.
private company, Yuri Yaprincev. Private business.
Так, и третье место.
Place number 3, private company, Елена Hafizova. You have an award for active participation in the forum, the International Business Week
2023 в секции.
2023 sector vector of purchases, step to the future, the State Committee of Bashkortostan on competitive cooperation. We would like to give our gratitude to Anton Getty, a representative of the State Duma, President of the Union of Procurers, Pavel Tikhomirov. This award is for you, for your active participation. Editor-in-Chief of online resource Digital Purchases, a member of Perfection Committee on the of good cooperation practices, competition practices, Listen Pavel, Deputy President of Sberbank AST, Yulia Balayeva. This award goes to you. President of Small Size Aggregator Procurement Resource, Mr. Abaleev. So, Marketing Director of Online Fabricant Trade Platform, Maxim Kulishov.
Руководителю управления.
Manager of the Department of Development of Electronic Online Gazprom Bank Procurement Platform, Mr. Sergei Vladimirovich. Manager of Marketing Department of the Authorization Center of ETP GPB, Sergei Gavrilov, Alexander Gavrilov.
Генеральному директору
President of Zakupshik.ru company, Alexander Lyubanyov. You have your award.
региональному представителю
Regional representative of RTS Tender Company in Bashkortostan, Nikolai Anotsky. This award goes to you. Let me shake your hand. Head of the Department of the Development of Online Trade Platforms region to Ilshat Fatkulin. This award goes to you. We would like to give gratitude to our colleagues. We wish you success and hope for future fruitful cooperation. You may go to the State Committee on any questions in a written form. We reply to all. And why I mentioned in a written form, I hold receptions. People say one thing, but actually they mean something else. When you write something on paper, you can concentrate, you can make better details, you can elaborate better on the issue. Thank you very much, all of you.